What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You know, John Wall spoke in regards to the Clippers. He actually breaks his silence in regards to the Clippers situation and everything, how everything unfolded here lately. Now, clutchpoints.com is where he spoke at, and you can actually go on clutchpoints.com and check it out yourself and see, how he spoke on the Clippers and everything I got out of it was, very humble. That's what I got out of it more than anything. If I had to describe what he was saying and how he came off more humble than I think I've ever heard, John Wall. John Wall has always been a, cool guy, but he also had like a little, cockiness about him a little bit back in the day, or at least that's how I took him. It wasn't nothing really bad, like really bad cocky or anything like that. It's just, his confidence was really up back in the day, and I definitely understood that because he was a star player and he was really good with the Wizards, and he looked like he was really going to take his game to another level at one time, but you could definitely hear the humbleness in his voice and in his demeanor now, because he speaks on clutchpoints.com, and he says that he's very excited for the opportunity to play with Kawhi and PG, being able to run the floor, fast breaks or whatever with those two type players, and then the way they play defense and everything like that is really a good opportunity for him to, get back to playing basketball at a high level with two high level type players who can play basketball on a high level on both ends, and Kawhi and PG, and just the overall team with Reggie, Luke Kennard, having shooters like that, who can stretch the floor and be able to knock down big shots. He says it's going to be, basically exciting to, play with a team like this. And I definitely can, see where he's coming from, especially from, where he came from in Houston. And he actually speaks on the Houston situation too, because, a lot of people thought he was injured and all that stuff. I was even one of the ones that thought he might have been, injured and things like that. But he said just due to the situation, the understanding of the situation, he just didn't play, with the Houston Rockets. So apparently there was some understanding there in regards to him and the team. So the reason why he didn't play and everything. So I definitely get that. But there again, I look at this situation as humbling of how he's speaking about the Clippers and everything and the opportunity. And my thing with John Wall is I've never been a big fan of his in regards to his intangibles, in regards to his basketball IQ. But, being around Kawhi and PG can definitely make a difference. I can tell you that now, because playing with players of that level that play, that could play the way they can, and their versatility, it allows you to be more flexible in your game on both ends of the floor, if you play the right way. And I think, a prime example of that would be Reggie Jackson. We saw Reggie Jackson flourish with this team pretty much unlike any other team he's been with. I mean, maybe besides OKC in his beginning stages, like when he first got in the NBA, I think, way back then. But he was a young player, just, out there just trying to, prove himself, score and things like that. But now Reggie is, a veteran, been in the league a while, for several years now, and he knows the game. And like I said, the way we saw Reggie Jackson play, I say about a year ago or so, in the playoffs, when the Clippers were making their run until Kawhi got hurt in the playoffs, Reggie was making a real case that he was definitely the number 3 player on the team at that time. And, number 3 scorer on the team always was supposed to be looked at as Marcus Morris. But, playing with Kawhi and PG and really, upping his game a little bit more and wanting to step his game up because of the type of players he was around, it really, brought the best out of Reggie Jackson. Like when we saw Reggie Jackson play in the playoffs, that was the best we ever seen Reggie Jackson ever play. I mean, he was knocking down shot for shot. He even played good last year, without Kawhi and PG. And some of those games, against the Lakers, you saw where he just dominated, especially that one game against the Lakers. He had like 36 points or something like that. I mean, he was really, playing his heart out. And like I said, ever since he's been on the Clippers, this is the best version of Reggie Jackson, I think I've ever seen. I mean, just him being engaged, looking like he wants to play, looking like he wants to be there, and really looking like, a player who really wants to win a championship. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between a player who's out there just trying to get individual stats and make himself look good for SportsCenter rather than a player out there really trying to do what's necessary to win it all. You see what I'm saying? It's just a difference. When you watch basketball long enough, you'll be able to tell the difference. And anybody's watched basketball a long period of time, you can see the winners from the guys rather than the guys who just want to go out there and put up points and put up big numbers and get big paychecks. You could see the guys who sacrifice. You could see the guys who want it badly. It's very obvious. You see what I'm saying? The more you watch the sport and the more you really pay attention. So, and that's my thing with John Wall. And in relation to John Wall, John Wall came from a situation or situations where it wasn't promising or it didn't even look like it was a possibility of winning a championship. Now he's on a team like this, with this type of opportunity. We might see John Wall actually play better than what he ever did on the other teams because of the level of talent that he's playing with. And he actually kind of touched on something like that in his interview as well, where, he spoke about the players he's playing with and the type of opportunity he has, you know what I'm saying? Because even with the Wizards and Bradley Beal is good, but he's not Kawhi Leonard. He's not Paul George. You see what I'm saying? Like, he's not that caliber, those caliber type players. He's on the same level with John Wall at one point. Maybe he's a little bit better than John Wall now. But I mean, at one point, him and John Wall was John Wall was a little bit better than he was, but they were kind of close, I would say, to the same level. At some point, right before John Wall edged off a little bit. But still, John Wall's never played with these type of caliber players, especially a Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is even on another level way more than Paul George is. You see what I'm saying? Because Kawhi is the better player between all three of those players, and he's one of the best in the league. So I mean, when you look at playing with somebody like him, the level, the intensity, the everything is different, you know what I'm saying? Because Kawhi has always been just a silent assassin, you know what I'm saying? Find ways to win, find ways to get it done, but do it at a high level on both ends of the floor. So I mean, the opportunity of playing with somebody with a Kawhi Leonard, it possibly can make John Wall understand the game from a different aspect. And I feel like that's what happened to Reggie Jackson playing alongside the Clippers. With the Clippers, I feel like that brought the best out of Reggie Jackson, or a better version of Reggie Jackson than we probably ever would have saw if he would have never even came to the Clippers. And then on top of that, you got to look at too, Ty Lue being the coach for the Clippers. That definitely speaks a lot right there, because Ty Lue just knows how to get the best out of every player that he allows to step on the floor, because it's just in his nature to find ways to figure out what you can do to contribute to our team that can help better us in the long run. It's just in Ty Lue's nature to do that. And the fact that he's mastered a way of trying to figure out or, push the right buttons on people to get the best out of them. The fact that he's gotten, he's pretty much mastered that, or he's gotten to the point where he knows how to, get that out of players is really huge when you have a coach like that too. So, I mean, it's a very great opportunity for John Wall. And like I said, I've never been the biggest of John Wall fans at all, but in theory, or should I say, just off the strength of his opportunity and his humbleness, and listening to him, and him really wanting to get back to playing basketball and wanting to. He just seems like he's a kid in the candy shop. He's just excited to get this, to have this opportunity to get what he wants out of the situation and be in a better situation. And he just looks like he's just happy again. So he sounds like he's happy again. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's really good to hear from a player who's kind of been knocked off the earth a little bit, for the last couple years. So, I mean, the fact that he's had the opportunity to do this, I'm actually kind of excited for him. And I hope that he turns into maybe like Reggie Jackson did, does the number like Reggie Jackson did. Because Reggie Jackson came out of nowhere, was going to retire from basketball, came to the Clippers because, Paul George, definitely reached out. That's one of his best friends too. So is John Wall. John Wall is definitely, heavily recruited by Paul George. And, it's almost like being given a second chance. You see what I'm saying? So the second chance that John Wall has, I feel like, he might actually try to really thrive in it, really do his best. And I really hope that he does, because I like to see him go out there and play at the level that he used to play. Because, I mean, he was a good point guard. He was a good player. I mean, he really was. I mean, he was on his way to being like a superstar, if you ask me. You see what I'm saying? Back then. So, I mean, I'm not. And of course, you know, with John Wall being humble the way he is now, he's not looking to go out there and be a Batman, as he said in his interview. And he's not going out there to look at himself as being that. You know, he's going out there to, you know, play within his means, be the best player he can be on the floor, and, you know, try to help this team win a championship. And that's what it's all about. And like I said, winning championships is about sacrificing. And, you know, when you have to sacrifice, those are the type things that you have to do. You have to be the best version of yourself that you could be, but at the same time, you got to understand what it takes to win. And like I said, when you listen to John Wall, when you read his comments and, you know, his quotes and everything, and him speaking and all that stuff, you will see, like, you'll definitely get the just out of it that you'll get is that this guy really sounds like he wants to win. You know what I'm saying? He's saying that he doesn't need to be the Batman anymore. He's doing what he has to do to win, and he's saying all the right things. And these are the type of things that the Clippers want to hear. These are the type of things that they're gonna need out of him, though, for them to win, which is his humbleness and his spirit of just going out there being the best version of himself that he ever was, that he could be, because this team is set to win a championship now. So, I mean, John Wall, you know, like I said, I hope he has a good season, but he's going to have a lot to do. He's got a lot of work to put in, because you got to learn Kawhi Leonard. You got to learn how he plays. You got to, you know, learn how to play with Paul George. You got to learn how to play with this whole crew of new guys. And you got to learn on the fly while they're trying to win a championship this season, this upcoming season. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be definitely some ups and downs and things like that. But I mean, if they can just find a way to stay healthy, you know, that's going to be their biggest thing, because they got pretty much all the pieces they need. Like I said, they can add another big man. I think that would be more than feasible if they do that, because they definitely need more depth in that center position. But for the most part, they have everything they need just about. So, I mean, they're already doing workouts and stuff like that now, you know, from what the reports say about, you know, Kawhi and PG, you know, doing workouts with the guys, you know, trying to get on the same page chemistry wise, which is great. You know, it's good to hear that. Good to hear Kawhi, you know, getting in the right, you know, mentality and the right, he's pushing right towards the right direction that everybody wants him to, and he wants himself to get back to how he was. And, you know, hopefully they just, you know, build on what they have, because like I said, I think John Wall can really benefit them a lot, you know, if he's able to play at the level that he once could, you know, maybe not even at that high of a level, but just play more in control of his game and allow everything to just flourish. Because I mean, the man can give you 20, and he can give you 20 points and about 10 assists a game. I mean, he can give you like 19 and 9 easily. If John Wall's healthy, he can give you 19 and 9. It's no doubt about that. So if he can give you 20, and if he can almost give you a double-double, which is almost 20 and 10 assists I'm talking about, because one year he actually averaged like 9 assists. So, I mean, if he can give them 8, 9, 10 assists a game, I mean, with about, I'd say 16 to 17 points a game, the Clippers are going to be in heaven. Because I mean, now it's like, okay, you can't just worry about PG and Kawhi. Now you got to worry about a point guard who can get to the rim when he wants to. And like I said, if he can knock down his jump shot just decent, he ain't gotta knock it down a lot. If he could knock his jump shot down decently, the Clippers are really gonna be in good position to do a lot of great things. So I mean, I'm anticipating to see what John Wall can do, just like the rest of everybody else is, and we'll just, you know, see how it you know, unfolds for him. But I definitely you know, wish him the best. Hope he have, you know, a good season with the Clippers, and I hope the Clippers, you know, really you know, reach their ultimate destination. And you know, I hope they do well. But you know, only time will tell. So we'll see how the chemistry and the camaraderie is, and see what else happens in the off season before the next season arrives. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out all my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.